There's two things that we look at when we talk about classroom management. The one you all are most familiar with are the rules. You don't even need rules. The one I'm going to spend, like I said earlier, the time this afternoon making sure you understand are the procedures and routines. Those are the things that need to come automatic to the boys and girls. Look at this slide, because it's so true. So true. The number one problem in classrooms is not discipline. It's the lack of procedures and routines. Kids come into a class and they don't know what to do. They don't know what your expectations are as far as your management. And so routines, procedures are those things that you need to instill in your classroom beginning the very first day. A smooth running class is based on the teacher's ability to teach those procedures. You can't assume. Boys and girls get amnesia. Even from one grade to the next, it's amazing what they forget over the summer. But they know that there's certain rules in school. They know that there's certain procedures. You need to outline what are the procedures in your classroom, and you need to teach it to the boys and girls. Most teachers, and this comes if you remember from his video earlier, all they do is cover activities. Do this worksheet, do this, do that, do that. And you won't have too many discipline problems if you keep them busy like that. What you're going to have is probably a revolt. They'll stop on you. They're not going to keep working. They start disciplining then when things go wrong. I told you to do the chapter in the book, copy it word for word. Why are you looking at hers? It's the same chapter in the book. And they start nagging. And the last thing you want to do is go home with this nagging headache because all you did was nag boys and girls all day. You don't want to do that. Remember, I want you to get in your car, take a deep breath at the end of the day and go, God, I've been so nice, I'm nauseated. That's the way you want to leave school. So in short, most classrooms are non-managed. Kids don't know what it is they're supposed to be doing. So you got to teach them. What is it you want done? Here at UTEP, because it's a university, oh, poor guy, I'm jumping all over. I'm doing my chicken fat still. At UTEP, you go in, you're supposed to do certain things when you walk to a UTEP classroom. Generally, there's a sign-in sheet or some way of documenting that you're there that the teacher has set up for you. You're supposed to get certain materials out, but that comes from years of experience, doesn't it? Your first day that you came to the university was probably very different than how you come in and walk into a classroom now. You were like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? What am I going to do? Now you walk in, it's natural, it's a routine, and that's the way you want things to be, a routine to where it becomes automatic. You're driving down Mesa this morning, coming here. Light turns red. It's automatic that you stop. I hope you stop. It's automatic that you stop, right? That is a routine. It's so automatic, it's routine. I get up this morning. My routine, let the dog out, start the coffee, and I'm just kind of go get the paper. Then it was like, oh, I better go shower first and do this and this and this and do all these other things because I got to get out the door. So it's a routine. It's automatic. But if it was something new and different, like set my alarm clock, do this, then that's a procedure. I know I need to set the alarm clock so I know I get up or else I'll sleep right through it. So there's things that we do automatic. You've got to do the same thing in your classroom. You've got to teach these things the very first day of school. The main reason why students don't follow procedures is because the teacher hasn't thought it out. Okay, here at this campus, we're supposed to do a fire drill. When the bell rings so many times for the fire drill, we go out to the field. You know what? If you tell the boys and girls the first day, boys and girls, when you hear 3 bells, let's walk out to the field, it's a fire drill. The first fire drill, you're going to have a riot on your hands. You need to say, boys and girls, when you hear 3 bells, ring, 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 you're all to stand up. We will file out by row. You're to wait for me at the end of the hall. Once I get there, we proceed to the field. Let's practice. Just like you do your own boys and girls at home, your own children, even though you've trained them to make the bed and they don't make it, just keep working at it. You keep working at it. And finally, the teacher spends no time managing it. Oh, bad fire drill, we'll try it again. No, you come back in. Ooh, boys and girls, need to work on that a little bit. You, as teacher, take responsibility. Boys and girls, maybe I didn't explain things quite right. You know, Mrs. Schmidt, she's kind of dingy sometimes. Remember, 3 bells. Bing, bing, bing. What do? Everybody understand? And you do it. Take responsibility. Students accept the idea of having classroom procedures because it makes life a lot easier. On the first day of school, a lot of kids want to know, okay, what is your procedure in here for late homework? You know, they start asking all the negative stuff. How do I get my points for participation? They want to know all this stuff right up front. And so you have to tell them, this is the way it's going to be. No learning takes place when you're disciplining. So very, very true. If I am back and I am nagging at one of the kids, let me nag on Marie a little bit. I'm back here. Marie's driving me absolutely nuts. And I've given her that evil teacher look, okay? And it just doesn't seem to matter. And her group knows she's naughty. Everybody knows. So I'm back here and finally I've lost it with her. May I use you as an example? Yeah. Okay. I've had it with you, Marie. Now, is that a conversation between myself and Marie, or has it become everybody's business? That's the last thing you want to do. One of the things, I'll plant myself back here to make sure she gets the eye contact with me and that behavior stops. That's why I'm constantly moving. You got to work the room. Just like an entertainer, you got to work the room. Your customers or your audience are these kids, and if you're not working the room, you're going to lose them. So constantly working the room. You see something go on, you work the room. You see something else, you work the room. You get over there. If Marie is still having some issues, you get to a point to where everybody's working. Maybe it's a group activity like we were doing earlier. And you say, Marie, may I see you in my other office? Tiptoe out in the hall and we talk about it. Marie, is there a problem? Is some reason you weren't listening to me? What's going on? Talk to me. So one of the things Harry Wong tells us, and you'll see it in one of the videos this afternoon, is never stop teaching. Students must know from the very beginning how they are expected to behave and work in your classroom environment. A procedure is how you want something done. It's your responsibility to state it clearly and to teach it clearly. A routine is something that comes automatic. Effective teachers manage with procedures. Every time the teacher wants something done, there's a procedure for what they want done, set into place. Procedures answer questions like what to do when the bell rings. Bing, the bell rings. No, it's not chat time. What do you do when the bell rings? Saw the neatest thing, middle school, at Nolan Richardson Middle School, and this lady, the mentor teacher, happened to be their teacher of the year I was going. She had a classroom, one of those corner rooms that the kids had to kind of go down the hallway, and then there was the classroom. So she didn't want the kids coming into the classroom without her, because that's when you have problems. She had a chart tablet outside with everything they needed to do once they got into the classroom, and the kids would line up outside with her. Once the bell rang, they were responsible to have read that chart. She would go over it one more time because effective teachers want to make sure the kids know exactly what to do. Then they went in and they did it. It was beautiful. Middle schoolers. And while they went in and did what they needed to do, she had already kind of figured out attendance in the hall. The effective teachers know those kids. They can tell who's there and who's not. She went back to her computer, put the attendance in, and they were ready to go. What to do when your pencil breaks? Oh, My middle and high schoolers, it's kind of like the sentence that I don't have to do anything anymore. My pencil's broken. I am shut down for the day. What is your procedure? You always have a spare. If you don't have a spare, you better have somebody that likes you, and you better get one from them. I used to pick up, because you can collect, as a teacher, you collect all the leftover things on the floor, and you have a leftover, and if worse comes to worse, they better make sure they get 2 of those before they head. You have that procedure. Those are your high expectations that boys and girls get in your classroom and they're ready to work. What do you do when you finish your work? You just stop? It's tea time? What is the procedure? You have to have something in place. This is where you can have your iPad set up, the technology set up to where they go and do that activity. But be careful, don't make it too inviting, because they may not do what you want them to do correctly, and they might have to go back. What to do if you have a question. I love this one. What do you do when you have a question? When I ran my computer lab, I had a very simple, I had a code, kind of like your nameplates. On the top was red, on the bottom was green. If I knew the green was up, they were okay. They didn't need my help, so I just kind of monitored and they were fine. If they had a problem, before they put the red up, they were to ask the group on the right side. If they couldn't help them, they were to ask the group on the left side. Kids learn better from kids, research says. Restroom. And you've noticed, I'm not big on restroom. You take care of your needs, and Mary's going to keep talking. My kiddos in my classroom, it was kind of like E.F. Hutton. When E.F. Hutton was speaking, you better listen. You know that commercial? Everybody listens when they're speaking. Boys and girls, you have to be here for me. But once you start working independently, it's up to you to go ahead and go take a potty break if you need to take a potty break. Not a problem. Or if it's an emergency, get out of here. We do our custodian stuff, but I don't clean up emergency stuff, okay? So you have to have, then if they did go to the bathroom, I made it so hard I was mean. Maybe that's the drill sergeant in me. They had to sign out, name, rank, and serial number. Then I had the most obnoxious hall pass. It was huge. They didn't want to be seen with this huge hall pass, dragging it to the restroom. So you make it to where they don't want to go. Plus, they're so engaged in instruction, even at, their group. Hurry up, I can't believe you have to go to the bathroom. You put the pressure on the group. But you make it to where it's not. Kids are it's an epidemic in our schools. One will start, Mrs. Schmidt, may I go to the restroom? Well, you know the policy, and they sign in and sign out. So right here, this guy's sitting there thinking, when she gets back, I think I'll go potty too. And then this one, then this one. It becomes an epidemic. I've seen it. And I sit there and I talk to the little student teacher. I said, did you notice anything about, the management of your restroom? No, they just all seem to go. And I said, yeah, while you were teaching, they missed the whole lesson. Then they come back and start asking you, what do you do here? What do you do there? That's unacceptable. And you need to let them know that. You've got to let them know. So these are just a few things. Procedures are for the benefits of the students. But let me tell you a little secret. You want to know a secret? You listening? You hear, let me tell you, that's not the secret. They're going to benefit you. It helps the kids learn, but at the end of the school day, you're going to grab your purse, you're going to grab your book bag, and you're going to walk out and you're going to feel good because the kiddos were successful doing what you asked them to do. Other things you want to teach as far as procedures is how to enter the classroom, what to do when they enter the classroom, where to find their assignments. I've been kind of jotting things down here, things that we've talked about before. I've been kind of jotting them here so we don't forget. Where are you going to have that in your classroom? What work is to be done, where to find assignments if they're absent. What to do at dismissal time. Oh, new teachers of the world, look at me. When the bell rings, it's not a mass riot for everybody to head for the door. When the bell rings, that is a signal that you need to start wrapping things up. The kids have more than enough time to get to the next class. All they want to do is head out to socialize. Let's go socialize. Let's see what we're doing now. Yeah, they're on your clock still. When the bell rings, and most effective teachers kind of have an idea, I have another minute or so, they're watching things like that. They start to wrap things up. And it's not saying, wrapping up a lesson is not telling them what their homework is. Wrapping up a lesson is putting closure on what was learned throughout the day. What do you do when you want their attention? I've modeled several attention getters for you today, haven't I? The clapper. I modeled for you the 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. And I know you see it. The clapping, there's a lot of things out there. Procedures are everywhere in life. The first day of school, only teach the procedures you need for the first day of school. And your more experienced teachers will tell you, teach the fire drill, teach the cafeteria, teach those things that you need. As the year progresses, science teachers of the world, you may then teach a procedure. Boys and girls, when we have labs, this is the way I want things to do. Math teachers, boys and girls, today we're going to get the calculators out for the first time. This is the way I want things done. English teachers, or teachers in elementary. Boys and girls, we're going to start with our reading books today, our novel units, or our little picture books. This is the way I want things done. You don't have to dump that on them the first day, because you know what? They'll forget. Harry Wong says there's 3 steps. 3 steps to everything. 3 steps to teaching a lesson, 3 steps to teaching procedures, 3 steps to teaching rules. You need to explain it. Boys and girls, we need a procedure today for our calculators. Boys and girls, we need a science procedure because today we're working with chemicals. I want to make sure you get those goggles on and the apron. So let me teach you the procedure for that. You need to actually rehearse it. Remember with the emergency, let's go out, let's practice. You stop. You need to actually make them do it a couple of times. Don't be embarrassed. Did I stop? Once I said 1, 2, 3, and you didn't answer? Maybe one of you said eyes on me. No, I said it again. You want to keep doing that. And then finally, you need to reinforce it. Reinforcement might mean that you come back the next day and you teach it again.